Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and Packer owner Nick. Enjoy.
Give him that anymore. I can't do this where I'm going to try to find ways that I can explain why Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be blamed, because he absolutely needs to be blamed for this game. Absolutely.
Where we went 13-3, of course they're going to be critical, and honestly, they kind of have a right to be.
That's why I'm so disappointed as a Packer fan in Aaron Rodgers and even Matt LaFleur, because even though it was the special teams, it still falls on him. He does the hiring and firing.
They got Rodgers. I mean, they don't have to give up so much, and they don't got the capital to actually go after Rodgers, to tell you the truth.
If Rodgers stays, we're going to most likely tag Davante Adams, and then we'll work something out a little bit later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Frozen Tundra Network podcast. Today, we got some special guests. We got Bryant and we got Tyler from Wisco Fanatics. We are going to be talking about, obviously, the Packers, but we're going to talk about some other things as well. I want to start out with, we need a wide receiver, guys. What are we doing out there?
You can go ahead, Tyler.
All right. Well, my perspective is there's so much of a landscape of opportunity between free agency, trades, and the draft that they're probably going to sit down and probably weigh all the options of all three of them and come up with potentially a conglomeration of doing all three, whether it's trading for Tyler Lockett or signing a Julio Jones or waiting until the draft. I think they're really going to have the world's biggest whiteboard with every possible wide receiver they could add to the team and just kind of see what fits the team the best, not necessarily what fits the team the fastest.
I 100% agree. And I think a lot of people are forgetting about what is, deemed the second wave of free agents, especially after you get into camp and people start getting cut. There's going to be some young dudes that come in and shine on other teams, and some veterans are going to get cut. So I would love to see us go get a Jarvis Landry or someone in free agency. I would really love to see us trade for Tyler Lockett, but I'm not going to panic yet. I mean, if we're rolling into the season with just the rookies that we draft, I think we got to take at least two in the draft, probably one in the first and one in I'm thinking one in our first or two in our first 5 picks. So
what do you
I don't think we'll lean on that, but I think we'll probably either sign someone and trade someone, then build through the draft.
What do you think about trading for a couple of guys that aren't as widely broadcasted on the trade block? A guy that me and my co-host Jake discussed a couple weeks ago. We discussed potentially Laviska Shenault, potentially a Chase Claypool if the Steelers are not in love with his maturity issues that he's had. What do you think about those two potentially?
I think that's pretty interesting. I'd be really surprised if Pittsburgh let Chase Claypool go because of maturity when they sat with Antonio Brown and Juju for 4 or 5 years. I think Mike Tomlin's immune to that bull, and he'll just put up with it and get him to stop acting like a fool. A couple I've seen or thought about too are someone like Devontae Parker. I don't want to give up a lot for him, but I think that's someone that could get cut, or you give up a low round pick for and take a flyer on him. I know he didn't do much last year, but he was on pace to have a good season before he got injured. Had a decent season the year before that, so I think that's definitely a possibility too. I brought up Taj Boyd for Cincinnati too. I would love if that happened.
This is a good question right here, Greg. There's so many pros and cons. This is a free agency where no matter what receiver you look at, there's pros and then there's cons. They're the only option that I see, and I'm gonna say the only realistic option that I see without any cons is gonna be if we trade for Lockett. Trade for Lockett already, please. Go get him. He is awesome. He's amazing. And then if you need to, trade up and get Olave. My ideal situation is get Lockett, draft Olave, I think that we're pretty set at that point, don't you?
Personally, I don't. If anybody's asked, I saw a couple people ask with DK. I don't want to give up potentially a first or a second rounder for a guy who's going to end up wanting $20+ million next year, because that just puts us in the same position we were just in with Adams. Yeah, this is his last year. So you trade for a Lockett, he's a little bit older, but he's going to cost you a lot less, and he's more experienced. And personally, when you go into a playoffs and you're probably going to end up having to face the Rams at some point, DK Metcalf gets locked up by Jalen Ramsey every single time they play. So I don't want DK Metcalf strictly for that reason. If we're talking about veteran wide receivers, I still think Jarvis Landry is the way to go, and then put young guys all around him.
I like Jarvis Landry, but like my point earlier, like all these guys that we're looking at, there's so many cons with him. Jarvis Landry hasn't been healthy for how long? Like,
he's actually stayed pretty healthy.
Yeah, he's actually been. I think he missed 4 games last year, but other than that, he's been pretty healthy. I think I'll pull up his games played, but it's actually been pretty decent. It's not like somebody like, say, Julio Jones, who has been the model of how not to be healthy.
And please, like, look, I know Green Bay Packers fans are getting desperate and they're starting to unravel a little with this whole wide receiver thing. We don't need Julio Jones, okay? We, like, for real, we straight up do not need Julio Jones. I trust Allen Lazard more than I trust Julio Jones, okay? Like,
so looking at Jarvis Landry's games played, 2021, 12 games, 2020, 15, 2019, 16, 16, 16, 16, all the way up to 2014.
Okay.
So Jarvis Landry has actually been pretty durable.
And he produced with Baker Mayfield and whoever was before him. I can't imagine, like, if Aaron, to me, he's not a Randall Cobb on steroids a little bit. He's a good player. So I would love to add him, but
let's welcome Isaac to the show real quick. And I also want to give a quick shout out. Sorry, Brian, I'll let you finish in a second. I want to give a quick shout out to Wisco Fanatics. If you get a chance, go check them out. Awesome show, awesome guys that do the show. Really fun to watch. Go ahead, Bryant. Finish what you were saying.
Kind of like Tyler said about DK. There's nothing. He doesn't do it for me. Like, I feel like he's a stronger MVS. I mean, he's produced more, but he can do a little bit more. But I just don't think he is what we need on the team, because we have a big wide receiver already.
Nick, can you pull up that Randy Scott comment that's on here saying that Landry's too old? He's actually only a month older than Devontae Adams. So, I mean, he's going to be, he's going to be 30 before the end of the year, but it's 2 more down yet. Landry being too old, he turns 30 on November 28th. So he's he's not even a month older than Devontae Adams. So, I mean, you bring in a guy like that on maybe a 1-year deal who is looking to get paid. I saw somebody else saying Landry wants too much money. He is looking at money. He did just fire his agent. But if you can convince Landry, say, hey, come in here on a 1-year deal, show what you can do. Next year, the cap, it booms. So on Wisco Fanatics just 2 weeks ago, we talked about where the NFL salary cap is heading. So people worried about, say, the Aaron Rodgers contract, you can be at ease a little bit. There is $113 billion with a B $1 billion in TV revenue coming into the NFL in the next 11 years.
So that's only what's already been realized.
And that starts next year. So that big cap boom starts next year. So if you can convince somebody to come in on a 1-year deal and then get paid next year, you might be able to work something out with a guy like that.
Let's welcome Joe to the show. I'm gonna speed through these real quick. I saw that we were in talks, but it sounds like DK is not willing to be traded. He's probably going to stay. It's Lockett for me. Look, Brandon Ayuk, they have a brand new quarterback that's going to start.
I don't think he's available.
So the Niners are going to hoard their receivers at this point because they have a brand new quarterback. It doesn't make sense to get rid of any of their receivers at this point. So I don't think that that's a good move. I don't think that they're going to do that. And then there was this one. Lockett. I'm telling you, Lockett is the better option. People are like, yeah, but DK's younger. Lockett's only 29 years old and He had the best year of his career last year. Like,
He's the more complete receiver of the two, I think, as well.
100%.
I agree.
He's got a better route tree. He's a way better wide receiver than DK Metcalf. Metcalf may be that young, fast. He may be that shiny car right now, but he has a lot of problems under the hood.
How many times you see Metcalf when he can't physically separate himself from his cornerback? He gets shut down. I've seen it before. So
Jalen Ramsey owns him.
Yeah,
that's because Jalen Ramsey is strong enough to hold on to him, and then so he can't break off like Tyler Lockett can.
And he causes.
Aaron
Tyler
Rodgers
Lockett is more like the slippery. Tyler Lockett gets through the holes. Tyler Lockett is great in the deep pass as well. He has everything. DK is amazing. I don't want to take anything away from him, but for us, for the Packers, it's definitely Lockett that's the better choice.
Plus, the Packers don't sign cancers. DK Metcalf became a little cancer at the end of this season. Complaining
against
about
Green Bay,
complaining about all that type of crap. Green Bay doesn't bring in that type of crap.
Remember against Green Bay,
but
he had a hissy fit.
Yeah,
but I think that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit unfair, because I haven't seen any receiver so far for Seattle that hasn't had a problem with Russ. So, I mean, just to be honest, like I think DK kind of gets a pass on that in my book, at least. Like
Lockett's never said anything.
I'm not saying that Lockett. I'm not saying that Lockett isn't a better pick for you guys.
I just be the only receiver that doesn't dislike Russell Wilson for whatever reason.
Doug Baldwin stuck with him for a long time.
Okay, Doug Baldwin is another good one, but this started with Golden Tate, where all of a sudden DK, there's receivers that just don't like the guy for some reason.
So that's all I was saying, is that there's a proven track record of receivers that don't like Russ. So like as far as his complaining about Russ or not getting the ball, like that, I kind of just brush off. But I do also see like he does have a bit, seems to have a bit of an attitude problem, and which could be a problem. But Green Bay would be a great place for a guy, because it's only one guy that has the attitude problem. It's not like your team is full of problems.
Well, he also said that he doesn't like, I don't know if it was a joke or he just put it out there that the Chiefs were trying to get him. He said, I don't want to play in the cold. And Green Bay's known for cold. So,
but the other thing is like, because one of two things, if you put a guy who has an attitude problem into a locker room, one of two things can happen. Like if it's a solid locker room, either A, the cancer is going to spread, or B, it's like he kind of changes his attitude because of the guys around him, so it's a crapshoot.
I'm not willing to call DK a cancer at this point, and I'm not willing to say he has an attitude problem. I think him and Russell Wilson just didn't get along at all. I know for a fact, we all know for a fact, DK did not like Russell Wilson very much. We could see it on the field, but Green Bay is the type of team where if they see any red flag, like any, however small it is, they won't even consider you at that point. So,
how would you guys feel about potentially revisiting a guy that the Packers have had interest with in the past, and maybe look at bringing in a Will Fuller?
I like Will Fuller more in MVS. I think he's an MVS with a better route tree.
And better hands.
Hands. I think he would come way cheaper than what the Chiefs overpaid MVS.
I think Brandon Cooks would also be someone to look at.
I like that option. I really like the Brandon Cooks option. I really do. I think it's a guy that Aaron Rodgers could definitely thread the needle or get the ball in the bread basket, as they say, right? Like I think he's that kind of guy. I think with Rodgers he would strive. I really do.
And not just that, but you've never heard of Brandon Cooks having any real sort of problems or issues in the league. Like
especially for a guy that's been traded as often as he has.
Yeah, exactly. It's never come out after trades that he has an attitude problem or anything. He's always kind of just taken it on the chin and kept going and kept putting up numbers. So
he's a real
seems like he would be a good fit for you guys.
I could see bringing Cole Beasley.
I was one of the ones that was on the Cole Beasley train at first, but then the more that we talk about it, the more it's said that he is a true slot receiver. And if we're going to keep Cobb, then it kind of just doesn't make sense at that point, to be honest.
You're just keeping Amari on the back burner at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
The most reason why I want like Cole Beasley to be part of our offense is just, I'm thinking about third down, you know what I mean? Where you get Kylan Hill back into the mix and you get Cole Beasley on those underneath routes. Like it gives Aaron Rodgers some options to like throw those underneath routes when nothing is open out in the field. So that's why I kind of want Cole Beasley to probably join us because, it would be a good target for those underneath routes to get us conversions on third down.
See, I wish they would have signed
I
Jamison Crowder or something for that role because he's younger.
like
and
Jamison
I think
he's
Crowder's
like
signed
32,
already.
I like
33.
Jamison.
Yeah, I know. He's
You know-
signed for like only $2 million. So that's where it's like.
I
know
want
what
to
would
give you
why
guys a
not?
funny
couple of these
story real
people.
quick. There's a really funny story about this person who made this comment. They always cry and they get really, really butthurt because we always point out. I'm not joking. This person right here is factually one of the dumbest people you'll ever meet in your life. I'm not joking.
Is it one of your burners or what?
It's true.
Wait, is it Paul Merkel?
It might as well be. They always say the dumbest shit you can think of. Like they will go on a post where people are like trying to troll, and he'll just run around these groups and go, "Oh, nobody wants to play with Aaron Rodgers," and he's like being serious is the problem. Like that's the issue. So this motherfucker right here, dumbest person you'll ever come across. I had to boot
exactly
him
how it sounds in real
out of
life,
our
too.
group because he's a snitch. He sits there and reports people. I'm not joking. That's been proven. So
Hey,
talk
John,
your shit, John. You're the dumbest motherfucker here. Congratulations.
John,
Hey, Nick's really running with that heel angle, isn't he? He's like Nick's full on heel at this point, dude.
Hey,
like,
John, how's it feel to be like 60 years old saying the same shit every day?
Yeah.
You can't remember what he said the day prior. You got to give the guy a break.
Hey, Joe, you're not a Packers fan. Could you imagine waking up every day and going, Aaron Rodgers? Like, Aaron Rodgers. Could you imagine every day thinking about this guy?
no, you know, I don't think about him really at all, other than like I'm a Cal fan, so I'm happy that he's had the success that he's had, but I don't like spend my time worried about Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Raider fan, so I'm thinking about our team and what we're doing, you know what I mean? What we're trying to put together.
These
just
people
left
wake
you.
up and they go, what can I post about Aaron Rodgers? I'm not joking. That's a real
Yeah.
thing. We've all
Yeah,
seen
they
it.
wake
Yeah.
up and start posting.
They
about
literally
Rodgers.
wake
Sad.
up with his nutsack hanging out of their mouth. Like,
It's sad. It's sad.
I mean,
So I
really
saw-
though, they're like,
I saw, oh, go ahead.
Oh, God.
So I saw a few guys in the comments that I want to address. One of them is Sammy Watkins. He's another one like Julio that I don't trust to stay healthy. Another one that I saw is Keelan Cole. I do actually really like Keelan Cole. I think he's got a lot of talent. He just hasn't really ever had a quarterback to help him put it on the field. And then the other one I see is Emmanuel Sanders. I mean,
No.
that's going to be a hard pass for me. He's 35 years old.
35.
yeah. But I think
Uh,
Sammy Watkins actually would be, if you can get him cheap enough, which
I
you
can't
probably
trust him to
could.
stay
Like,
on the field.
yeah, but for the time that he's on the field, he's going to be a good threat for you guys. Like,
I actually
especially
like
with Aaron Rodgers
Chanel.
getting him the ball.
I'd rather give that same money to Julio and take a chance there.
I don't dislike
That's
Chanel at all.
Can't really
but
say you're
he
crazy
hasn't-
for that.
Chanel hasn't proven enough for us to like go after him right
The
now.
thing with LaVisca too is he's best in the slot. If we're gonna acquire
Yeah.
a slot guy, I mean, why
Yeah.
bother
He's also
giving up
wild.
a pick?
He's also wildly inconsistent. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever
I
happened
like
to-
I like the idea of it, but I mean, if you're looking at what cost versus what potential production you're gonna get, I feel that I'd rather give some money to Jarvis Landry than to give up a pick for LaVisca Chenault.
Whatever
Sure.
happened to
Real quick,
if I
Charlene.
was honestly, dude, if I was the Packers GM,
Charlene, just real quick. I don't know if you think I'm Bill, but I'm not Bill. I'm Nick. Charlene keeps saying Bill. I am not Bill, the Packers fan. Okay, I am Nick. Isaac, go ahead.
I was gonna say, whatever happened to John Brown from the Bills?
He's been on and off people's practice squads for 2 years.
Oh, really?
yeah, he came to the Raiders and then he didn't even make the squad, and then I didn't hear from him after that.
I remember
But
he had
what
like
I-
a
what
solid season for the Bills, and then he just fell off after that.
It's a
I
lot
was
of
gonna
name
say,
Burks.
if I was the Packers GM, dude, this is the move that I would make. I would do whatever it took. Like, I won't say whatever it takes because I wouldn't give up anything ridiculous, but I would try to get Lockett and I would try to get Cooks at the same time. Like, you could probably get them for, whatever pick for Lockett. I don't know if they're going to want a first or a second or whatever
I
they're
would
going to
think
want.
a second.
So you give a second for Lockett and you give like a third or a fourth for Cooks. And I think that would just instantly, like, your guys' receiver squad would go from worst in the NFL to like, pretty
Another
up there,
target,
dude.
Another target I was looking at, if we could steal him off the the Washington team or Commanders, or whatever the hell they're called, is Curtis
Terry?
Samuels.
Oh,
If Curtis
okay,
Samuels
Terry.
is healthy, He's a Swiss Army knife of an offensive player.
I think he's Ron Rivera's guy though, because he brought him over from Carolina. He's Ron Rivera's guy. He's going to stick with him. Somebody in the comments said Laviska's only played 1 year. He's actually played 2.
Let's answer this question real quick. It's Olave and Burks. Those are the obvious choices right now for Green Bay in the draft. Our biggest needs, other than wide receiver, it's got to be offensive line. We are revamping the offensive line seemingly right now, and I can't.
And I would say maybe defensive end as well.
Defensive end is another good one because we only have Lowry right now.
Right.
Slayton. I mean, we don't really know.
He's probably more of a D tackle, but I think with the addition of Jaron Reed and now having Kenny Clark, Jaron Reed, TJ Slayton, and Dean Lowry, I think you're just going to see a revolving door at all 3 of those positions, and nobody's going to have a set position. All of them are going to play all 3.
I think the plan is to move Kenny Clark around a little bit, and that'll work great.
So I get what you're saying when you say more of a D tackle, but because of the defense that we play, D tackle and D end for us, we kind of just, like you're saying,
going to be a little more interchangeable. Yep.
Yeah.
It kind of feels that Kenny Clark, suggested that to Goot, and Goot went and got him. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like that. Like he's like, hey, get this guy. Because
Nick, go back one comment.
Because right away he's just celebrating.
Whose nutsack are we talking about? Are we still talking about Aaron Rodgers' nutsack?
Yeah, that was the Aaron Rodgers comment. Look, I like the
somebody has Aaron Rodgers' nutsack on the brain. Like that was 5 minutes ago. We've moved on.
I think that the Reed signing is because Green Bay obviously sees something in that guy. Look, let's be honest. If there's one thing that you can't say about the Packers, you can't say that they just sign people because for no reason, right?
Yeah.
Like Green Bay is usually pretty good at signing guys that you're like, what? And then people on the outside are kind of like, why? And then they end up proving themselves, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they pan out.
Let's say Campbell and Douglas are perfect examples of that in very recent history.
I don't know, I don't know all your guys' needs, but I know one thing. If I'm the Packers, you guys pick what, 22, right?
22 and 28.
Yeah, you guys pick 22. If Olave is still on the board, you should run to the podium, dude.
Immediately, you get Olave.
Immediately, Olave. You should
Olave looks like an immediate
really
help.
good. Burks is really good. He's big and physical, but Olave just looks a lot more polished to me. He's going to be.
If we could have a Olave at 22 and Treylon Burks at 28.
At 28?
I'm leaving Thursday night happy as hell.
Yeah,
and, Jake and I are talking about some of the guys we're going to start doing our draft bet pretty quick here. But one of the guys that we like for a defensive end is Logan Hall out of Houston. He's billed as a raw pass rusher, so he would be a guy you could bring in and give him some snaps at defensive end.
I need you to elaborate, Christopher, why no to Lockett. I don't understand that at all. That actually sounds like the best option is to trade for – that's just me, guys. In my opinion, the best option we have right now is to trade for Lockett while he's available.
Another guy we can look at in the draft.
I actually think DK is a really good option too.
They're not.
DK is a game breaker.
I'm just not excited to have to pay a guy top wide receiver money right after we just got done dealing with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
Another guy in the draft is Malachi. Is that how you say his last name?
What's Lockett's contract though? Isn't Lockett making 16, 17 million? So
he's making a lot, but if you're doing it for 1 year and seeing how it works out, then you were just going to pay Devontae a bunch of money. I'm not saying pay Lockett that money, but why not take a flyer on him if they're trying to move him? And I feel like he's the one that might actually get traded because he's not on social media saying, "Oh, it's time for me to step up" and a bunch of stuff. I think he's probably realizing that at 29 years old, it's time to go somewhere that has a chance to win in the next 2-3 years.
That's a good
Tyler
point.
Lockett's cap hit is actually only $3 million this year.
No, his cap hit
is 10. It's 10.
That ain't even that, dude. 10. The Chiefs just gave MVS 10.
He's making 10 this year. He's making 16 next year, and he has an opt out before 2024.
So we could use him for those 2 years, which is the projected of Aaron Rodgers, how long he'll be here. And then the opt-out at that point, we're not going to hold on to that dead cap of the 23.9
and then he'd be a free agent at 31.
Exactly.
Yeah, Brian brought up a big
That is
good
perfect.
Point. Brian brought up a good point. We're about to pay Devontae Adams more than what the Raiders were going to pay him. So why not bring in Lockett? If we're going to end up shelling out that money, why not get an established receiver like Lockett?
That's not even a lot, though. That's not even a lot.
I know that's not even a lot.
That's half of what Devontae would have cost.
Yeah, that's half exactly.
This
So-
year it's a third.
Mhm. And you could get another free agent wide receiver with the money left over, so, or you can aim for the drafts.
So
Green Bay
Brandon
has
Cooks
lot
is
of
a free
avenues
agent
now.
after this year, and his cap hit this year is $16 million. So Brandon Cooks probably isn't an option.
Let's ask Joe. Hey, Joe. Joe,
Well,
are you there?
Texans
Yeah,
like
I'm
to
here.
make terrible trades, so maybe they'll eat a lot of the
They'll
cap.
hold on to it.
Joe is a Raiders fan. People want to know about Keeson Nixon.
He's one of those guys, like, if you put him in for short spurts, like he'll have, some
Thank you,
tackles,
Charlie.
he'll have a couple pass breakups, but overall he gets torched an awful lot. There's a reason he's like, just a depth piece. Like,
So
I
he's
watched
our
him
new
play.
Chandon Sullivan then.
I don't think
I
he'll
don't
play
know.
that role. I think he's coming strictly for
They're
special
saying
teams.
he's a
Yep.
saying
If he's
a
coming
special
strictly
team
for
stud.
special teams, then then that's not bad. But I wouldn't, if with the corners that you guys already have, there's no reason for him to ever see the field as a corner.
Oh,
Unless
yeah.
there's injury.
So
like,
that to me,
he did the same
to
thing with
me,
the Isaac
him-
Idiom or whatever.
Yeah, him coming over from the Raiders, it just seemed to me like Bisaccia said, "Hey, that's one of the guys that I want to come in here to be one of my
For
guys."
special teams, yeah.
Right.
Good point.
Somebody just said, looking at the tight end position. Actually, tight end, this is another position in this draft this season that's actually really deep. So this draft is a really deep wide receiver draft. There's actually a lot of really good tight ends in this draft. I know my co-host Jake, he really likes Weidermeyer out of Texas A&M. Personally, I really like Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina, and I really, really like Greg Dulcich from UCLA. And then if we get to the 4th, 5th round, maybe looking at Jake Ferguson.
I like the kid from SMU.
Yeah.
Grant Calcaterra, Calcaterra, something like that.
Calcaterra.
But so when I was doing these mock drafts, I kept drafting this guy, and I was like, why do I keep drafting this guy? I went and watched his tape. He's actually pretty fucking good. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Like,
You got to watch the tape first, bud.
hey, I was just, you know what? I was only doing the mock drafts to get Olave and Petrie, and then whatever happened after that. Now there's another guy. There's a tackle for Kentucky, Kennard.
Yep, I've seen him. Yep, in like the
I
4th
started
round a
watching
lot.
him because I kept drafting it. Man,
Yep.
this kid is a beast. No joke.
Yep.
Like,
I just can't wait for Brock Bowers to come out, dude. Brock Bowers is going to be the greatest tight end since.
that's not for a while. So backstory, Brock Bowers is from Napa, and me and Joe went to Napa High where Brock Bowers went. So Joe's really excited about
And
it.
he balled out on the Georgia team, national championship team.
Yeah, he caught that
That dude's
touchdown
gonna
at the
be-
end of the national championship.
That dude's going to be as good as Travis Kelce if he stays healthy, dude. He's going to be a beast. But he's still got
this is
2
really
more
a
years
dumb-
before he
Wait,
just
hold on.
declares.
John, this is a really dumb comment. No rookie's gonna change. Man,
Look
there's
at Waddle and Chase last year.
there's
Yeah,
so
change their
many.
teams.
That's what I like. That's what I like. I was just saying. This is one of the deepest wide receiver drafts in a long time. That's why, if we can leave the 1st round with Olave and Burks,
I think we should all be fans of these huge these pro days that these quarterbacks keep putting on too. There's more of them that push ahead of us, the further some of these players are going to drop.
Yeah, we're definitely going to draft a tight end because I don't put any stock into DeGuara. Sorry.
Hey,
maybe he can grow into
Christopher.
it. You know what I mean?
Christopher,
But I
Lockett
don't put
is
any stock
inconsistent,
into
guys.
DeGuara right
he
now.
said Lockett is inconsistent. He had him on fantasy. I'm not going to doubt you.
Come on,
But
man.
I'll say to me, I felt like Russ kind of declined a little bit last year, and I think if Lockett actually goes to the Packers, you'll see his numbers go up with Aaron throwing him the
1,200
ball.
yards and 8 touchdowns last year. The year before
also
that,
don't bring
1,050
Russell had a
yards and 10
broken
touchdowns.
finger
That
for
is
6
not
weeks.
inconsistent.
Yeah,
at
he
all.
was Russ was also hurt, and he was playing. I mean, even though he came back, I think that finger was still
1,057
bothering
yards
him.
and 8 touchdowns the year before that. This guy has
Don't-
10 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. He
Don't
consistently gets 1,000 plus.
don't bring up
Yeah.
fantasy football in a discussion of actual
Oh.
football.
Good point.
That's
Hey,
like when people
hey,
bring up.
I wanted-
that's like
I
when
wanted
people
to bring
bring up
something
Madden
up.
ratings and 2K ratings when they're having debates. It's like that is.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray was the best quarterback last year. I had him on fantasy. You're what?
Don't bring fantasy football into an actual football discussion. It holds
Actually,
no
I
weight.
wanted to ask you
Yeah.
guys,
I
as
hear
an
you.
outside perspective, because I'm a Raider fan, so I have an opinion about it. But apparently, the Raiders and the Steelers are both offering Honey Badger a contract. If the Raiders could swing getting Tyrann Mathieu on top of all the other free agent acquisitions, like, dude, I'd be excited about that. I think the Raiders defense already has improved just on paper. And like, if they could get Honey Badger to go along with Merrick, I think that would be like.
Answer this one, Joe. I want you to answer this.
Yeah, with Abrams.
Yeah, what is Abrams going to play?
Let's see. Abrams can play the bench. Like, bro, he's. I love Abrams. I love his aggressiveness. But honestly, he tackles so wild. He's going to end up getting more of our guys hurt than their guys. Number one, he's already knocked
this, Joe. I don't want to hear about Abrams.
I will.
Abrams is not good. We know that. He got hurt his
he's
first
just going to cut me off like oh no, don't talk about Abrams.
I want you to answer this.
What, we got a Raider hater? Raiders fans are crazy. I read people saying that Carr is better than Rodgers. Only insane people. Or that D, Adams will put up better numbers with Carr. I don't think he'll put up better numbers, but I think possibly comparable numbers, although maybe not, because it just depends on if Carr is going to throw to him as much as Aaron Rodgers did. Like, we also have Waller and Renfro, and I expect them to get the ball too. So
I don't think you can throw it to Adams more than Rodgers did. I don't even know if that's possible.
I don't think it's physically possible.
Talking like 150, 160 targets.
It's definitely.
Let's see how fast they re-pick up their. Let's see how fast they re-pick up their.
Hey, I want to know who is Mario's team.
Mario is a Packers fan.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
I can't really shit on him for his team being
are
bad.
Raiders fans really saying Carr is better than Rodgers? I need to know the answer.
It's
to
got to
this.
be people trolling.
I've never seen any serious Raider fans say that. Like, maybe trying to troll. I haven't even seen that, and I'm on like the Raiders Reddit board and stuff like that. I've never
put it this way.
I've never seen that.
If you took Aaron Rodgers and put him on the Raiders, where would he be? Where would they be right now in terms of?
We'd be winning Super Bowls with the squad we have now.
They would be they would probably be the number one odds to win the Super Bowl.
Could you imagine Rodgers with Waller and Adams and Renfro?
But at the same time, like let's not act like. One thing that pisses me off is that like people think or people use the opposite side of that argument, like, or if somebody says, "Oh, Carr is better than Rodgers," that's obviously insane. But at the same time, like, let's not just shit on Derek Carr either. Like,
no, he's
I see people act like Carr is trash, dude. I see people act like Carr is trash, and he's not trash, dude.
No,
I told Simon last year. I said if we're gonna trade Aaron Rodgers, and it's true he wants to go to Las Vegas, then you pull that trigger and you take Derek Carr back, because I think he's a quarterback that can win you games.
He's good.
Yeah, Carr after like 9 games, he was like he had more touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes, like a better completion percentage than Russell Wilson, and like he had all these accolades going for him. So Carr ain't a bad.
He's very solid. I would put him in the same category as like Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill, even like Matt Ryan, like guys that they're not gonna go out and win you games that are hanging in the balance, but they're also not gonna lose you games. So they're serviceable, solid guys that aren't gonna turn the ball over tons of times, and they'll throw you some touchdowns.
I get what you're saying, but I disagree a little bit, only because Carr has lost us games. As a Raider fan, like, I've seen it. Like, Carr has fumbled.
Kirk Cousins has lost the Vikings games.
Yeah,
but I mean, just generally.
Yeah, but Carr lost us a few games last season with his play. Like, just being honest,
is Carr's not going to go out and lose you every game all season.
No, he's not going to lose you every game. But there are games literally where Carr will lose you a game or two. But I also disagree on the fact that Carr will actually win you games too. I mean, like, Carr has more fourth quarter comeback wins than almost anybody in the league since he's come in, dude. Like, the dude is clutch when it's like fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, and you give him the ball. 9 times out of 10, he's going to take you down and score, dude.
I really don't like that stat.
Carr's in that above average category.
I hate the comeback stat because, just my personal opinion, you shouldn't have to come back if you're that damn good. You should always be winning. So I really don't like that stat.
That's a flawed stat.
Yeah, I agreed. I think it's a very flawed stat. It doesn't tell an overall greatness of a quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah,
look at that against Aaron Rodgers all the time.
You're coming back.
How many times has he lost the game?
Look at Stafford. All these Lions fans want to bring up all these comeback wins. If you're coming back against the 0-16 Lions and you're cheering for that, 0-16 Browns and you're cheering for that, like, come on. You know what I mean? You should be down to the 0-16 Browns.
Every Lions win is a comeback win. They get 4 to 6 wins a year, and 3 to 4 of them are comeback wins. It's a stupid stat.
Yeah,
you're playing like the Bears, who have like a horrible record, and then you know what I mean, and coming back against them, it's like, oh wow, Stafford is coming back against a team that's trash. Anyways, so it's like it's not that impressive.
Watch, all of a sudden we're gonna get a comment that has that fake stat where Aaron Rodgers is 0-3,046 when he's down by more than 4 touchdowns on a Wednesday against a winning team or whatever. That stat
when
that
Jupiter aligns with Venus.
You know how many times I debunked that stat and then people like freak out?
While you're on the subject of Aaron Rodgers, I want to bring this up that I said this on my show on Wednesday that we, as Packer fans, we need to collectively give Aaron Rodgers credit because he knew that Davante Adams wasn't sticking around, and he still chose to stay. Aaron Rodgers showed real loyalty there,
commitment,
I
and
heard that,
needs to be given credit for that. People need to stop doing Adams left because Rodgers used all the cap space. MVS left because Rodgers used all the cap space. Rodgers' cap hit is $28 million. He knew Adams was leaving, and he still chose to stay. Give Rodgers credit.
Hey, I just want to address Mario.
That Adams actually asked for that trade shortly after the season ended. So
people are not putting 2 and 2 together. Remember how many times they dissed the Last Dance with Davante Adams and Rodgers? They're not putting 2 and 2 together. That Rodgers was saying, "Hey, this is the last dance of us together." I mean, he knew this from last season.
People thought it was Rodgers leaving, not Davante.
Mario, I never actually said that you were the one who said that Carr is trash, just to clarify, but I have seen quite a few like comments from people where they, because Carr isn't Aaron Rodgers, automatically he's like Ryan Leaf or some shit, like it's like, no, it doesn't have to be either or, like he could be a good quarterback and just not the best in the league, I mean, there's only one guy that's the best average in the league at any given time,
I'm going to open the floor.
He's in that above average category.
I'm going to open the floor to you 4. We got 3 Packers fans and 1 Raiders fan. I'm just going to ask this simple question, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Davante Adams was traded to the Raiders for a 1st and 2nd round pick of this year. Who won the trade?
I had to wait until the draft.
I'll let all you guys answer since it's a Packers show, and then I'll give my answer.
I will wait until the draft.
I'll wait until the draft, but I'll say obviously the Raiders because they got the best wide receiver in the league. It sucks for us right now, but it doesn't mean they won the long term. But honestly, I think it was a win-win because it's clear that Davante didn't want to play for us. He's done so much for us in the last 8 years. He wanted to go. I guarantee him and Aaron talked about this, like we just talked about. Sure, I'll say the Raiders won it because we took a step back and the Raiders took a step forward. No, even if we drill the draft this year with those 2 picks, they won't have the same impact that Adams would have on our team. But overall, I think it's a fine trade. And for anyone that they're trying to troll and say, oh, look at what Miami gave up for Tyreek Hill, it's completely different.
Don't compare those 2 situations. Yep.
The Raiders could have signed Adams away from us anyway for 2 first-round draft picks, and then if we try to call their bluff and he sits out, we get nothing. So you pull the trigger, you benefit a player that wants to do something that has done so much for your organization, and you move on.
And you get 2 picks this draft. It's not like they got a first rounder
My
this year,
is,
first rounder next year, or
yeah.
I would say
my answer is 50-50 because yes, Davante Adams, definitely Raiders got really good, the best wide receiver in the league. But Packers, in their case, they got $20 million in cap space. They were able to bring back Devondre Campbell. They were able to bring back Russell Douglas. That Packer fans were all worried about if they're going to come back or not. Plus, we got those draft picks. We're going to, gamble on those and see what that gets us. So it's just remained to be seen on what we're going to get. But, trading Davante actually helped us get back 2 players that have been fan favorites. You know what I mean?
Matt, they couldn't ask for more. They couldn't ask for more because they could have signed him for 2 firsts. They got next to what they could have got. They weren't getting more.
Yeah, he was franchise tagged. People don't understand, what you can get off a franchise tag player. You know what I mean? It's not the same.
I think Miami overpaid for Hill because then they
it's like saying
$30 million a year.
It's like saying, "Oh, Devontae's on the franchise tag. I want 5 first-round draft picks for him." It's like, yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But no team is going to give you that. Like,
That's the
you
thing
know?
too. There wasn't a
Exactly.
bidding war like there was with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, there were
Yeah.
2 offers on the table, and Kansas City accepted both offers. So they basically said, "Here, pick which one you want to go to," and Tyreek Hill picked Miami. Also, worth noting, Tyreek Hill just turned 28 like 3 weeks ago. Devontae Adams turns 30 before the year ends. So
December,
Tyreek Hill
right?
has essentially got 2 years under what Devontae Adams has. And Tyreek Hill is under contract.
Yep.
So
Devontae Adams is on the franchise tag.
this kind of goes into what I was going to answer as far as who won the trade. Like, I think when you first look at it, it looks like a good trade for both teams. Like, you guys got cap space. You got a first and a second in the same year, this year, in a very deep wide receiver draft. So you guys won there. We got the guy who is right now the best receiver in football.
Yep.
So we won there in the short term. Like, you guys won in what you got for him. And if you really maximize those picks, you guys like don't have, you're not looking at a rebuild. It's like more like just retooling. And honestly, I think it gives your offense a chance to be more diverse, because if you use 2 of those picks on wide receivers, like, you guys are going to be dangerous.
So I think you'd be very hard pressed to find a Raiders fan that was upset they gave up those picks. Whereas you turn around and you find plenty of Green Bay fans that aren't.
The risk,
Honestly,
risk for the Raiders actually isn't in trading for Devontae. It's giving him the 5-year extension for a guy who's going to be 30 by the end of this year. So they're taking the risk towards the end of his contract.
I was going to give like more of a nuanced answer. Like, so in the short term, it's a great trade for both teams. I think the Raiders took on a lot of risk because Devontae is 30 years old already. There's no guarantees that he's going to play well until the end of that contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if you look at the contract, it's 5 years, $140 million. However, when you first look at that contract, if you don't know how it's structured, you're thinking, like, you're paying 2 quarterbacks. That looks terrible, right? But the way the Raiders structured the contract was actually really smart, because it's basically a 3-year contract for $66 million guaranteed. So it's 22 a year. And then the last 2 years are like 40 million or some ridiculous number that I honestly expect, by the time the 3rd year ends, they're going to be looking to restructure that. So I don't think he'll ever see that $40 million like that. But the question is, does Devontae continue to play at that level until he's 33, 34 years old? Like, at some point, all receivers decline,
I think
a risk.
Adams is perfectly capable of continuing his. Because look, he had Brett Hundley and still look good. I'm not one of those Packers fans that goes, well, without Rodgers, he can't be good. Come on, man. Adams is really, really good.
He's the best route runner in the NFL.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and he's not relying on speed to get open, so we don't have to worry about that aspect of it. He's like a really good route runner.
He's kind of like Jordy Nelson with his speed. It's like you don't think he's going to burn you, and then when he's behind you, you're like, oh, shit. Like, you know what I mean?
And another thing that's
but he's not relying on that, though.
Yeah,
no, he doesn't.
Another thing that's kind of going to
so
extend.
Good.
Yeah, another thing that's kind of going to extend his playing time or extend his playing years is playing behind a pretty stacked offense. Like with Renfro and Waller, he's not going to be the only target that's out there. So he won't be the only guy to be focused on and getting hit by a bunch of fucking people every single time. He's getting the ball. So you got guys like Waller that's out there. You guys got, guys like Renfro out there. You guys got Josh Jacobs who could even catch the ball out there.
Kenyon Drake.
It's not like, So exactly. So it's not like it's only him and he's getting hit.
Joe, let me go next real quick.
Go ahead. Sorry, Nick.
I want to do a public service announcement, a PSA for all you Packers fans out there. Stop acting like Devontae Adams isn't the best receiver in the league just because we traded him. That shit drives me nuts.
Yeah.
How many Packers fans are like, well, he's probably not even going to be. Come on, man. He is the best. So
he's the best.
Just because we traded him, I'm sad that we traded him. Okay, I didn't want to see him go, but he's gone. He is still the best. Stop doing that. You're making it worse.
Can I add another leg onto your public service announcement?
Yeah, go for it, Tyler.
I want to add one as the Packers isn't be any moves made. That's the comment right here right now. The Packers are in trouble as of right now The
They're
draft
not.
is a month away. There's guys available in free agency. This Packers team today is not the Packers team you're going to see when training camp starts. Not even close.
And when
No.
training camp starts, it's not going to be the same team you'll
Yeah.
see at the season start. I just want to make this point about Devontae real quick and the risk. You're 100% right, because look at Julio. He was a monster at his, age 30, 31 year. He got injured, and he has done nothing. So they're risking – or I wouldn't say he's done nothing, but he can't stay on the field. He's still a monster, but he's going into like 32, 33 now. And now they just gave Devontae $140 million. And if, say, he gets hurt this year, I mean, that's going to handicap their cap for a long time.
I personally have confidence, though, that Adams is going to continue to be pretty good for the next few years.
I do as
if he
well,
was-
and I
if
hope
he
he
was
is.
the
I love
only-
the dude, but
If he was the only target, then I would be concerned. But he's not the only target on the Raiders' offense. So
So real-
honestly, you can
take
extend
one
him.
hit to the knee and you're done.
Real quick, guys. Tyler,
Raiders right
Tyler
now-
Wilkins just joined. Welcome, Tyler.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
fucker.
motherfucker, to a Packers fan right here. Tyler Wilkins, happy birthday. Let's have a good show. Let's all fucking get down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to give my take real quick. I love that you guys continually say the trade was 50-50. Look, in my opinion, if we didn't have Aaron Rodgers, we lose this trade by a long shot. But because we do have Aaron Rodgers, a capable defense, and we're still going to be really good, we still have the options to, what Joe said, retool. It's 50-50 at this point. We could still absolutely burn the league with what we got. Or what we're going to be. Like you said, what we're going to be after training camp. What we're going to be once the season starts, right?
That second wave
That's
of
what
free
helps.
agency is going to happen, and we're going to add people, and we're still going to have Aaron Rodgers, and he might actually spread the ball around. I mean, everyone wants to say, "Oh, special teams lost this game." You can say that, but that final play where I go back and I just get sick to my stomach seeing Lazard wide open, and it just blows my mind that Lazard had been on fire. And Cobb had been playing well for him before the injury, and then all of a sudden he doesn't target him at all. So this will kind of take away his security blanket a little bit. In all honesty, he's going to have to develop a new security
Nick.
blanket.
This is another year with AJ
Hey,
Dillon
Nick.
too, extending himself in the offense. You know what I mean? Like his emergence was really high this past year. So
Nick,
coming into this
That last
season,
comment,
AJ Dillon's going to be killing.
is that Bucks fan, Mike?
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay. I don't even need to address it then.
so you're all talking about Devontae. I love Devontae, but the contract that he got, it's insane. Dude has a lot of concussions. Had a lot of concussions, and like if he has one more, what the fuck's gonna happen? Like.
That's your fear with Brandon Cooks.
The contract
trade for him.
Hey, the contract, Tyler, the contract is not really that crazy. It's only crazy when you look at the 5 years, $140 million. But if you look at how it's structured, it's
I'm
actually a
saying,
really
though,
smart deal for the Raiders.
What I'm saying,
what
though,
was
is
the
he get
guarantee?
one more concussion. That could be his career.
Caleb, you're wrong. You're
Yeah.
wrong. I hate when people say stuff like this. Like, they're just not like, bro. There are so many wide receivers that have been drafted as rookies and immediately made impacts.
I think there was like
Look at
How
Jamar
many
Chase.
look
dude.
at one of those guys?
Are you trying to
Yeah,
tell me
look at
that
Jamar
Devontae,
Chase.
You got DK
Drake
Metcalf.
London,
You got Jamar
CeeDee
Chase.
Lamb. Look at
Jefferson.
CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb
CeeDee
immediately was
CeeDee
really good.
Lamb.
There's like
What about
like
Claypool? Claypool had like 6 touchdowns in 3 games or something like that.
there's like 10 receivers that were
Rondale
drafted
Moore.
in the last 3 years that just blew off.
Yeah, Rondale Moore. He could. I mean, if he gets more targets, he's a stud.
Receivers
You know
are
what I mean?
dime a dozen now.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase both went over
Hey.
1,000 yards last year. Justin Jefferson went over 1,400 yards in his rookie year. A.J. Brown, 1,000 yards. Michael Thomas, over 1,000 yards.
Hey.
It happens every year. So this
will
comment is
sell it.
ridiculous.
Michael
This will
Beatron.
sell it to some of the crowd.
Yes.
This will sell it to some of the crowd. Waddle had a good fantasy season.
Waddle had a great
Yeah.
regular season.
Fantasy.
If you give
this a
Devontae
real
Smith
question?
a quarterback worth of shit.
Is this
Yes,
a real
the Packers
question?
have the
Do the
Packers.
Packers have a good defense? Like, come
The
on,
strength of
bro.
their team
Are
is
you
the
fucking kidding
defense.
me? Dude, first of all, now that
Who
we
did
have
we lose
Jared
on
back,
defense?
we
No
have
one.
3 cornerbacks. Like, come on, man.
From last year, we literally lost no one on our defense, and we've added 2. So from what we put up last year, we have lost no one, and it's only going to improve.
Yeah.
Eric Stokes
So,
going to have
in
another
short,
year, and that
yes.
he's really good.
The only position that I really want to add on our defense is middle linebacker.
I'd like to add a speedy middle linebacker and defensive lineman.
I do not trust Chris Barnes. D-line's all right. I mean, you got Reed, you got Clark.
What if that guy from Georgia or the one from Connecticut falls to us in the second round? I mean, I think you pull the trigger there and adds that kind of speed and explosiveness. You can replace Dean Lowry there. Dean Lowry had a really good season, though, so I don't think they'll move on.
I say we draft a receiver first, and then if like we got Dean there from Georgia, draft middle linebacker, or like Davis ain't gonna drop. He ain't gonna. No way he's gonna drop. But if somehow he does, you draft him. But other than that, tackle, offensive line.
I'm hoping Devontae Wyatt falls to us. You know what I mean?
He's so nice.
Isaac, they're saying that Wyatt's better than Davis.
Yeah.
I really like Nakobe Dean, dude.
Nakobe Dean.
I really think Nakobe Dean is gonna be a baller, dude.
I'm high as fucking Dean. But if you can get Chanel, maybe.
Yeah, Dean. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Devin White, dude.
Yeah. Devin White. Fuck yeah.
Can you imagine adding that kind of speed on the defense? I think your first 4 picks you're looking at probably wide receiver, offense, not in this order, but in a combination. Yeah. Wide receiver, offensive line, defensive line, / linebacker, and another wide receiver. That would be the dream scenario.
Yeah, it would be a realistic. It's a realistic chance we can land Devontae Wyatt. If we get him inside with Kenny Clark and Jaron Reed, we'll wreck havoc.
I think you guys should be shooting for Olave. To be honest, like I think Olave would really.
I honestly,
Olave, he looks dope, dude.
I'm hoping.
I actually think Olave is going to be the best receiver in the class.
He's going to get picked.
Drake London included.
London.
I don't, man.
I think Burks is going to be their best receiver, man. I truly.
So the first 2 highlights.
I'm not going to say you're crazy.
The first 2 highlights.
I'm not going to say you're crazy. Traylon Burks is big and physical, and I think he's going to have a lot of success. But Olave looks so polished to me, dude. He looks like he's ready right now.
Dude, Burks reminds me of like Debo 2.0.
Olave is one of the best route runners in the draft. So I think you target him.
That's what I mean. He just looks so polished, dude.
I pulled up the tape of him, or just to watch some highlights. I'm not like some scout or nothing. I pulled up highlights, and the first 2 plays I see on the highlights are bubble screen, wide receiver screens. Well, and we know that's Aaron's bread and butter. Like he loves that as a hot.
Pull up Drake London highlights.
I have. I like.
I don't even need to pull up.
I like him too.
The guy.
I don't even need to pull up the fucking.
Physical, just kills people on the field.
You know I don't even need to pull up fucking Ohio State tape because
but you're an SC fan though, so you kind of got a little bit of a bias there, like. Of course you're gonna say Drake London, bro. Like. Dude, of course you're going to say Drake London, bro. You like SC.
Did you see his draft? His mock draft, the first 2 players were USC players.
I hope.
I'm surprised it wasn't all 7 rounds USC players.
Like, one player.
Drake London. If you watch Drake London, he's just a beast. You know who he reminds me of is like Tony Gonzalez as a wide receiver. He can leap, he can moss you. Like he's physical, he's big. You know what I mean? He doesn't run as fast. But he has got some crisp.
But he's not very fast.
I'm telling you, watch. He can pull up.
I think we gotta
go watch his
about
highlight
something.
tape. You'll see some of the Jets on
I
there.
think what we do still to come into trades, our free agency, if we do anything before the draft, I think if we take a slot receiver or a 6-1 or a Lockett, then you might not be looking at Olave at that point. You might be targeting someone like Burks or Drake London because then you want that big physical person. And Lazard is that big physical person, but he is more like a hybrid tight end.
Hey,
you're gonna want someone like
Caleb. Well, he also had Boyd Higgins, and then you go
Bucks fan, Mike.
Like what the fuck, bro? You could it's Boyd Higgins. And then you could have named a tight end, but you named Mixon. Like, what are you talking about? Why?
Yeah, Caleb. All the teams all the teams continued to roll all their coverage towards Boyd and Higgins for the entire season, right?
No,
Just
no,
let
it was
Chase
Mixon.
do what he
It
wanted.
was Mixon.
Right? No.
Hey Nick, go back. Comment before. It was like, Mike, you guys are all fools. Like, fucking, shut up, dude. Like, hey, come join. Come, talk your shit.
Every time he joins, he talks shit, but then he joins and he goes, "Hey guys."
Hey,
I just want to say,
Nick does the Patrick Seals.
Hey, Mike, I just want to tell you that 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the league could have won the Super Bowl 2 years ago with that team. It wasn't Tom Brady.
hey, I just want to say the Bucks can eat a dick.
Yep.
Hey, but one player I really want to avoid if I'm the Packers, and I'm seeing on every mock draft that we're going to pick him, is Jahan Dotson. And, like, he was a stud at Penn State, like, because I seen him play a lot, but I'm like,
in the second round though. If I don't.
No, he's a first rounder, bro. That's where they have him.
Every wide receiver can't go in the first round. He's small. He's kind of like Olave.
Look at the Bucks, man. They have him. They have him on the rise. They have him. They have the Packers drafting him, and like every mock I looked at,
I've only seen one. And the thing is, everyone's on the rise. Like Christian Watson, who's from NDSU, my home state, really good wide receiver. He's on the rise now and sliding into the first round because he had his pro day today.
What scares me is that Goody was just at Penn State's pro day, and I'm like, I mean, he was obviously looking at Dotson.
They're gonna be at every pro day. The thing is, and if you've learned anything about the Packers, they ain't gonna take whoever they're meeting with. They met with Willis or whatever, that quarterback. If anything, they're only meeting with him because they think
I'd rather have Mickens than fucking Dotson, if that's what it comes down to.
The wide receivers I really want to target in the second round are George Pickens, Mechie, and maybe the guy at Alabama if he falls.
Mechie is good.
I don't know. I don't know if Olave is going to be there for 22.
Are you saying Williams? Are you saying Williams is going to be there second round?
He might be.
No, he's first round definitely. He was the best receiver.
There's only 32 picks in the first round, and people might not want to take him right away.
He was the best receiver before he got hurt.
But he got hurt, and that people might.
No, dude, he just tore his shit. He's not going to be playing for a while. Ain't nobody going to pick him first.
That's the thing, Isaac. You draft Olave, you draft Burks or whoever, and then if Williams is still there, you draft him because, like, whatever, we still got a receiver, and then he comes in and it's like, fucking boom, you know? That's a guy I truly want is Jameson Williams.
A move, but I would rather have if I was the Packers, I would at 22 and 28, I would take Olave and then Burks, dude. Like, I mean, that shit would be scary.
I don't think Olave's gonna be there, man. Like I was seeing some mocks that
I don't think Olave lasts
he's
going.
He's going. I've seen some mocks that he's going before Wilson. Before Wilson, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, he's polished.
Eagles.
Hey, this dude just said we're all sweet.
Eagles are definitely going to get a wide receiver.
This dude in the comments said y'all are all.
Eagles are going to draft another Jalen Rieger. They're going to take a wide receiver and be like, what the, you know?
Hey, but you know what?
Get a cornerback, and then they're going to draft a wide receiver. That's what
that dude going to do. That dude Jahan Dotson, though, like, I honestly,
he's fast.
Bro, I honestly like when you talk about him and you're like, I hope the Packers don't draft him. You know what I see in him, and they don't look terribly similar physically, but you'll understand when I explain it. But I see like Rashawn Gary in him. Like if you pick him right away, you're gonna be like Nick was really pissed when you guys drafted Rashawn Gary. He was like, "What the fuck?" And I told him, I was like, "Just wait, dude. Rashawn Gary is gonna be dope." And sure enough, he's dope. Like I think Jahan Dotson is gonna be that same thing. Like he's gonna get picked.
Rashawn Gary, he was athletic as fuck. I don't know if like Dotson's athletic as fuck.
But that's why I said like they're not similar like physically, but I just get the sense about him the same way with Rashawn Gary that like whoever picks him, maybe year one he's not going to be like a superstar, but I see that he's going to be good. You know, just give him time and he's going to be good, dude.
Another person I wouldn't mind, and he's gonna slip.
What are you talking about, Rashawn Gary?
Because he just blew his Achilles out. I wouldn't mind fucking Ajabo from Michigan. Another fucking pair him up.
I see he's supposed to go second or third round still.
I seen still first round, like late first, late second.
Dude, you have everyone in the first round.
No, you look at my.
Hey Nick, why are you talking shit on Gary?
Yeah, no, Joe, don't ever talk about Gary again. You wish you had Rashawn Gary.
So the only time, like maybe a job.
Actually,
see someone
he
like,
obviously didn't listen to what I said.
I did hear what you said. I remember when I was pissed off on draft day. Don't ever talk about Gary again.
I don't want Gary. I'm good with Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, dude. Like
those guys suck. I mean? Gary is a beast. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead,
You
Brian.
said those guys suck. You just lost all credibility with
Brian,
that statement, dude.
About what?
I was just saying. And we interrupted you.
No, I was just saying like Ajabo. I think a team that would maybe look at him then would be like Philly because they got 3 first-round draft picks, or someone like the Chiefs who has an extra one late in the round. But I think Philly might go 2 defensive players. Their defense is so bad. So just say someone like Singletary, that cornerback falls or something. They're gonna scoop him up and they might wait for a wide receiver. They've taken a wide receiver in the first round in the last 2 seasons. They might be like, we suck at this, so maybe we'll try our luck in the second round. and
hey Nick, go back one comment.
So we'll see.
Here's why I think.
We'll see how it plays out.
Here's why I think that if Olave is available for the Eagles, they're gonna get him. You know what I mean? Because like, what is it? I think they have.
It reminds me of the
14th pick. Because they're definitely going to go cornerback to help out Slay on the other side, and then they're going to choose a wide receiver because Jalen Reagers is trash, and they got nobody else but Devontae Smith on that team.
To me, Olave is so similar to Smith that they already have on the team, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think they need defense
they do something
so badly
different.
that they might go back-to-back defense and really like throw some pick.
So anyway, I doubt it happens. But like, Packers have a little bit of cap room yet. How would you feel if we went after Hakeem Hicks?
He's too broken.
We need a mean motherfucker on the line.
I don't think it happens after Jaron Reed signs.
We got one. His name is Kenny Clark.
I think Jaron Reed frees up so much for Kenny Clark that you're not going to spend more money there.
I don't know. I just like those mean defense linemen, man. Like,
what if Reed is a Rasul Douglas? We don't know what we're getting with him yet. Give him a shot.
Yeah.
Or what if we draft Jordan Davis? What if Jordan Davis falls to us?
I love the Reed signing, dude. He's 2 years off of 10 sacks as a defensive tackle.
What if Jordan Davis
That's impressive
falls to
as
us?
fuck.
Jordan Davis is probably going to the Chargers, dude.
If we get Jordan Davis somehow, man, and put him next to Kenny Clark, woo!
You're gonna have to trade
or
up.
Devontae White.
I think
you're gonna have to trade up. And honestly, I don't think
Davis.
that, dude. I don't think that would be a bad idea if you traded up.
I'm very confident that Jordan Davis is somewhat of a generational talent. I'm not even joking. That kid is a beast.
Yeah, but you're not going to get him at 22, dude. He's going to be gone by 17. If he's not gone before 17, the Chargers are taking him at 17, dude.
Hey, at least someone agrees with me. We need a mean motherfucker on the line.
We're not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to say to Randy, whoever the Randy dude in the comments, Randy, if that Facebook picture is actually your picture, you look like you smell like pee.
Caleb, we have 3 really mean linebackers. Okay, we got Campbell, we got Preston Smith, and we got Rashawn Gary. What are you talking about? We need a mean linebacker. Campbell's as good as it gets at this point.
Yeah, sure I've seen Chris Barnes hit some motherfuckers pretty hard too.
Oh
yeah.
Hey, you know what,
dude?
It wouldn't be a bad.
Chris Barnes had the hit of the year last year. That motherfucker stood up that guy at the goal line. I'm like, holy Barnes.
Calais Campbell.
3 games, he had like
Calais Campbell is a free agent.
Tackles.
Chris Barnes is 100% meet you at the line of scrimmage type of linebacker. He will be there. Like,
I still don't like Chris Barnes though. I think we can upgrade there.
Okay,
Campbell is a free agent, though.
Right? Happy birthday! Bye. Isaac, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, Chris Barnes, the last 4 or 5 games, he was like, at least like 2 of those games, he was leading in tackles. Chris Barnes was really coming on fire. And credit to Barry, the linebacker whisperer. He lives up to his
Calais
name.
Campbell too. If you're talking Akeem Hicks and Calais Campbell, I know Calais Campbell's older, but he's stayed healthier, and I'd rather have him than Akeem Hicks.
That's what I was just trying to say.
I'll
Is that Calais Campbell is a free agent. He hasn't signed with anybody, and if instead of Hicks, if you could get Calais Campbell and put him next to Kenny Clark, that's like you're working with something, dude.
I love Calais Campbell. I've always been a fan of Calais Campbell. The guy's a monster.
And Tyler, he's nasty too. Calais Campbell is a nasty boy, like Hicks, dude.
And you know what? We don't need receivers. Defense wins championships, bro. They do. You got Aaron Rodgers running that game. You got fucking Jones and Dillon pounding that rock.
As long as we don't like reach for bums like Chandler Jones or something like that, like we should be pretty
Oh my
good.
gosh, dude. Like
what?
Chandler Jones is a bum now. Like
now he's always been a bum. What are you talking about? He's forever been a bum.
We're just gonna have Rodgers throw the ball up in the air on the Hail Mary, and he'll catch it himself.
Well, let's be honest, Isaac. I've watched Aaron Rodgers with James Jones as his best receiver because Jordy Nelson tore his ACL. James Jones got cut by the Raiders and then by the Giants, came back to Green Bay, was our best receiver that year, and we went to the NFC Championship.
Wasn't Randall Cobb our best receiver?
No, it was James Jones was our best receiver that year.
Well, that was a hoodie year?
That was hoodie year. He was
the sweater hoodie year. Yeah.
Well, dude wore that at indoor games.
On paper, Cobb was our best receiver.
And for 4 games,
Jones was our best receiver.
For 3 games in 2016, Rodgers was making Trevor Davis looking like one of the best wide receivers in the league.
I said that the other day. I said, you know what, fucking Rodgers, he can make these mediocre receivers look great. He made Jeff Janis look fucking all pro.
What is that one guy? Aberdeus.
Yeah, he made him look good too.
You mean touchdown Jesus Janis? Okay.
Jeff Janis will live in infamy now because of that Cardinals playoff game. He will live in infamy for that.
That was Rodgers' like number 1 wide receiver. Jeff Janis was a special teamer.
That dude was at Lambeau signing autographs in November when I went to the Washington game.
Yeah, the guy was mowing the practice lawn. He was mowing the practice lawn. Like,
he was washing cars in the parking lot.
I said you couldn't pay me enough to give me your autograph.
Are we going to talk about how much?
Matter of fact, you should be asking for my autograph.
Hey, that guy was giving out stadium seats so you don't sit in the cold. You know what I mean?
Look,
Rodgers like
he's like the usher. He's like sitting there with the light baton, like come this way, come this way.
Here's my point, guys. Here's my point. James Jones, he gets cut by the Raiders and the Giants, who both sucked that year. Sorry, I know you're Raiders fans, but they were horrible that year. Both of them were. He got cut by 2 really bad teams that year. He came to Green Bay. He had 900 yards and 8 touchdowns. James Jones, who was 31 years old and his career was over. Okay.
Yeah.
I just hope this next year, and like it could be great that we got rid of Devontae because like Rodgers might look at other people. Like that one year we had Cobb, Nelson, Jones, and they all I think it was Jones. They all almost had 1,000 yards. 3,000 yards wide receivers. That's when Rodgers was spreading that fucking ball around. I hope he gets back to that, where he looks at everybody.
So Wilkins, happy birthday, but you're getting the fact checked on you. You're getting the Nick Green fact check on you.
What year was that?
Randall Cobb had about, I want to say 60 less yards and 2 less touchdowns than James Jones did that year.
No, I'm saying
on paper. You said on paper. That's not what happened. James Jones.
I'm saying Cobb was our best
wide receiver that year.
What year was that, Nick?
That was 2015.
Yeah, I blocked that out because I went to. Isn't that the year we went to? Isn't that the year we went to the NFC Championship game?
And we got blown the fuck out by the Falcons.
Me and Simon were sitting in the second fucking deck in that game.
Do you guys remember who our running back was? Do you remember who our running back was?
Yeah,
Montgomery.
No,
not for the NFC Championship game. It wasn't.
It was Ripkowski, and that motherfucker fumbled.
Ripkowski, our fullback. Yeah.
That was such a
fumbled the ball.
Such a rough experience, dude.
So we started the game
being there at an NFC Championship game, but
Mason Crosby missed a negative 5-yard field goal to start the game.
Good old Mason.
And then,
dude, I hope Crosby.
Hold on, Tyler. Sorry, hold on. The Falcons went down and scored.
I truly hope Crosby's not our kicker next year.
Tyler. The Falcons went down and scored. It was 7-0. Can you guys tell me what happened after that? The very next possession after that?
Wasn't that the Ripkowski fumble?
Ripkowski fumbles in the end zone on first thing. I think it was second and goal, actually. No, I think it was first and goal. On the 1-yard line, Ripkowski fumbles the ball in the end zone. That's man, we are the most unlucky football team on the fucking planet.
Ooh, this UCLA game, North Carolina game.
I was sitting at being there during that game, just getting our asses kicked. Me, Simon, and one of our other friends, Travis, sitting there with cheeseheads.
Oh man!
What's crazy is hammered. You look at what Aaron Rodgers did that game. He actually torched the shit out of them that game. We gave up 42 points or something like that.
We made a little pushback, but it just never amounted.
Well,
I remember for the Super Bowl, we're at my cousin's house, and we're like, all right, the Falcons got this. You know what I mean? They were up in the half, and we're like, oh, we're all taking shots, celebrating, and fucking the inevitable cut happens, and the Patriots come back. We're like, why?
Dude,
honestly, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I don't know why we're talking about 2016, but just a quick story. I was leaving that stadium, and there was a fan that was almost got in a fight during the game. It was 4 rows in front of us, just turning around and yelling at me and Simon the entire game. And I told this dude, I looked at him straight in the face, and I said, I was gonna root for you guys to win the Super Bowl if you guys beat us, but now I hope you lose in the worst way possible. And I hope that dude remembered my face when they lost that game, because I was like, what a
28-3.
It's why are you turning around and yelling at us the whole game? We know we just we just got smoked. Enjoy. You're going to the Super Bowl, bro. Enjoy it. Don't sit here and yell at us.
And then 28-3 happened. They had to watch 28-3. That is the worst thing that has ever happened to anybody in football history.
Sad.
What's worse? What's worse, you guys? 28-3 or Russell Wilson not running the ball?
That was what's coming to my mind in that.
Okay,
well, if we want to play that game, what about not recovering an onside kickoff? What about
28-3? And here's why. Russell Wilson already won a Super Bowl. Atlanta didn't win shit.
No.
And they were fucking that close. Knocking on the door. Gonna knock out the Patriots.
No,
it doesn't happen.
Seattle loss is worse because you could have handed the ball the best running back in football, and he would have scored there.
But Russell Wilson already and the Seahawks already have a championship.
Yeah,
Atlanta Hawks don't. Atlanta Falcons don't.
That was more on fucking Pete Carroll, to be honest with you. How the fuck don't you beat Marshall Lynch? Dude, that motherfucker getting 1 yard every time.
Dude, the Falcons, the 28-3 is much worse. It's not even close, dude. And I'll tell you why.
It's not even
because
close,
the Seahawks decision was one bad decision that in one play that cost them the game, and it was terrible decision.
Yeah,
but the Falcons,
that one play, I guarantee that Marshawn Lynch is scoring that touchdown every time.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think that to say that one bad play is worse than the Falcons coming out and dicking the dog for the whole second half. I think it was Devontae Freeman was their running back in that game. He was absolutely slaughtering the Patriots in the first half. He had almost 100 yards rushing in the first half.
Pass the ball. I think it was
Coleman.
It was second and 10.
And Matty Ice
was 3rd and 12 because they decided they were going to pass the ball for whatever reason. Matt Ryan got sacked.
Field goal range.
Yeah, they were almost in field goal range, and then Matt Ryan
gets sacked. Field goal range.
They were, and then the next play he fumbles the ball because they decide to pass for some reason. What are you doing, Kyle Shanahan?
What do you? I don't understand.
I still think it's not even a fucking Super Bowl, but the baddest beat was the fucking Packers versus Seahawks. We gave up 14 or 17 points in 5 minutes or something like that.
I'm not talking about that. Let's not talk about
that. That was the baddest beat.
Hey, do you want to talk about MVS being overpaid or Robert Tonyan signing back?
All right. Hey, good to see you, Tyler.
All right. I got one. Worst call in NFL history. It's got to be the Fail Mary, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, that Fail Mary was.
If you think about it, and I remember I said this when that happened. I said this, like, everyone's like, oh, it's week 3 or whatever. It's not a big deal.
I think it was week 2, but
I was like, I feel like it was on Halloween, if I remember right, for some reason, or right around that time. But so you're right, early season. They're like, it's just this one game. I said, yeah, but you're talking about 2 of the better teams in the
end, though.
Yeah, exactly. And what did it do? Where was the NFC Championship game played because of
Seattle, that? Because of the one game.
Yep.
Freaking Golden Tate.
But we get Green Bay gets all the calls, right?
I was so pissed because Golden Tate was celebrating like he won a Super Bowl doing that. And I was like, fuck you, Golden Tate.
All right, Packers fans.
Isaac, I hate that motherfucker to this day.
What's the name of the guy that intercepted the ball on that play?
I know. Just wait. Give me a second. I know. He was like number 30.
His first name is initials.
Huh?
His first name is initials, what we called him.
His name MD Jennings.
MD Jennings. That's what. Yeah.
I'm a wizard. I might be drunk, but I'm a wizard.
Oh my God!
I'll have another one.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on to that topic. I don't want to bring.
Bro, the Rams whooped your ass. You guys got fucking slaughtered last year. Like, just give it up. The Rams were better than you. Like,
so what do you guys think about Matty Ice to the Colts and Russ to Denver?
I like the Colts roster. I think it's a good idea. I think Matt Ryan. I'm not going to
Colts got the best running back in football. Boy.
He's not going to revive his career or anything like that. I'm not.
I don't think he needs to though. I think he just needs to be.
Colts need one more receiver.
But you know what, Bryant? It's going to be better than when they had Phillip Rivers. It's going to be better than when they had Carson Wentz. Who was it? Dorset or what was his name?
Yeah, Dorset.
Brissett.
Who's actually an okay quarterback for a back, probably the best backup in the league.
Jacoby
Brissett.
So Jacoby Brissett was only good at a fucking quarterback draws. That was it.
all I'm saying is I like it because
he won an MVP.
the Colts do have a really good defense. They have a pretty good roster. I think the Colts are someone to look out for this year.
And Matty Ice is a baller, dude. Matty Ice is a baller.
Colts need one more wide receiver. I don't think
they already got
Pittman's dope.
I don't think Pittman's a true number one.
I disagree. Pittman is really, really good. He came on last year.
Pittman's dope.
I think Pittman.
Tyler's just saying that because he's a USC player. That's the only reason why.
Jonathan Taylor's dope.
I think Julio might end up in.
Jonathan Taylor's dope.
I actually agree with you, Brian. I think Julio goes to the Colts. I think that's just something that makes sense, right?
They need a receiver. Colts do. We need one too. We need one too.
Watch the Colts trade for Lockett.
Hey, so I think Nick, I sent you
so
this.
Mad if that
I know I sent it.
And it'll be like a 4th round draft pick, and we'd be like,
"Oh my God!"
I know I sent it to Isaac.
It killed me when Robert Woods went for a 6th round. I was like, but they don't want to trade him to it. It's just like
Hopkins.
Someone said Brandon Ayuk earlier. They're not going to.
Or Hopkins.
Another US
they're like, dude, Hopkins goes for nothing, and you can't even inquire about it.
Yeah, well, it was a contract issue.
Isaac said it was a fake trade, though. I sent it to him, and I said it was like the Panthers first and 4th for Diggs or something like that.
It was from Rasta Pasta, the fake account that's been doing fake trades.
If I'm the Packers, I'm offering the 1st and 3rd.
Yes, Chelsea, we are.
Rappaport is his actual name.
I don't know why though.
And it's check marked. That's how you know it's official. Not Rasta Pasta, and it has Rappaport's picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to hang out with Michael Rappaport in Green Bay. We got beers. We had some spotted cow. He was telling me, okay, so this is some interesting info. I don't know if you guys knew this. When you get a job with ESPN, or I also got to hang out with Robert Klemko of Sports Illustrated. They said,
dope.
They said that you have a favorite team before you get the job, when you get the job, they tell you you're not allowed to have a favorite team anymore. You have to absolutely just let that go, or else you won't have the job. And it's got to be a complete unbiased situation. So
just wait, when you're an analyst,
yeah, Robert Rappaport, he's a Bills fan. He's not a fan of anybody anymore. He's like, no, I have to
how does like Randy Moss and them have a job then?
Bro, that's different. You're talking about players that come from playing the game.
He's biased as fuck.
If it was me, you, or any of these other people on the panel right now, you have to give up your Packers fandom because you can't report news of the entire NFL with a bias.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, like how does Randy Moss or Tony Romo?
Those are players. Yeah,
they get favoritism, man. You like
Rappaport didn't play. Adam Schefter didn't play. All these guys didn't play. They're reporting the NFL.
I'm talking about NFL
I know,
Network.
Fuck Adam Schefter, but he's a reporter, and
these NFL Network
he can't have a fandom.
I'll bet you guys didn't know that, right? Rappaport is a Bills fan. You probably didn't know that, did you? I know that because he told me while we were at the bar. He was like, I actually used to be a Bills fan. I love the Bills. And I was like, so you don't love the Bills anymore? He's like, well, I'm not allowed to. I was like, what?
I'm not going to lie, though. If the Packers play the Bills in Buffalo, I want to go to a game. I want to party with Bills Mafia.
Oh, you're changing
That'd be
teams?
fun. That would be fun.
You're switching
teams?
You want to get
– yeah. You want to get thrown through a table?
I'll go through a table.
And Brian's going to put you through it. He's looking at you like, oh, my God, this guy.
I'll go through a table.
Brian,
Nick, you would go through a table, too.
Are you down to go to Buffalo and put this motherfucker through a table?
Let me know. I'm 6 hours away, man.
Are you? Oh, yeah. He's in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'll drive that 6 hours.
Give him the choke slam, whatever the hell.
Hey, we played there this year too. So,
to be honest, I'm not sure I want to go to a Packers Bills game because I like going to games that I know we're gonna win.
Did you just say we play in Buffalo? I haven't even really looked at his schedule.
I'm pretty sure we play in Buffalo.
I might have to go to a game in Buffalo. Buffalo would be fun.
I'm for sure going to the game in Washington, and possibly I thought about going to the game in Philly. I just don't know if I want to do that. It's a little dangerous.
Yeah, because no matter, dude, you could tell them that they're the greatest people on earth, and hey, we don't hate the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're gonna throw beer cans at you.
Yeah, right.
Only Viking fans
or snow batteries.
Oh God.
And only
Get
Viking
hit with a
fans.
double D. Oh.
What I will say though, there were so many people who was like, people got hurt when that happened, the Vikings fans, and I was like, Aaron Rodgers got hurt when he broke his collarbone, right? Yet you still pump your chest about that. I'm just saying.
Right.
About, man. I seen someone like selling a custom-made picture of like Anthony Barr driving in the ground, and you see in the break. For one, they did it on the wrong collarbone too. It's just like, what? I hate the Bears. I hate the Vikings. I hate the Cowboys, and I hate the Steelers. But I don't want to see anyone get hurt.
Yeah,
maybe Tom.
And the Viking fans were like dressing up Stallone. What do you think was going to happen?
Fuck
in Philly.
You know what's funny too? When the Eagles won their Super Bowl, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in their stadium, and the Philadelphia Eagles fans were ripping the seats out of the stadium and taking them home with them.
Dude, so as a Packer fan, I have no sympathy for the Viking fans because I've been to a game at the Metrodome, and the Viking fans are a bunch of fucking assholes also. Like, they deserve what they got, like, they're just assholes, man. I don't even know.
The funniest video is when that fucking Viking lady's yelling at that guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, go Eagles!"
Or they were parading around with a big old sheet that said "Fuck Millie." I was like, "Oh my God, yo!" Let's be honest.
Dad to a game there in the Metrodome, and it was against the Lions, so
Yeah.
I hear that it's really nice though going to their games and it's fun.
Well, I went and seen when Favre was playing for him. So
In Minnesota?
Yeah, I hear that going to Minnesota.
I hear a lot of my Viking friends. I have Viking friends that tell me that rival fans go there all the time to get treated with respect out there.
I didn't. Nah, I don't know. It was
I
a
heard
different
it's really
experience.
fun. I heard it's really nice. I heard that everybody's friendly. It's kind of like going to a Packers game where, hey, you that has a different jersey on. I mean, I'm still your best friend, right? Like at Lambeau. Like I'm not from Wisconsin. I'm from California. So when I went to Lambeau,
got to go, yo.
All right, later, Isaac.
I couldn't believe how nice they were being. I walked into the Lambeau Stadium. We played the Seahawks. That was the year that Green Bay and Seattle was like the top two teams, and we ended up beating them in that game. The second I walked into the Lambeau Stadium onto where the field is and everything, I saw a bunch of Seahawks fans taking pictures, and I screamed out to them, "Russell Wilson sits when he pees." And of course, they all look at me like, "Wow, that guy's an asshole." And
they all want you to love Wilson.
Even the Packers fans looked at me like, "Why is that guy such an asshole?" And I was like, "Because fuck them. That's why, right?" But that's not how they do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been in Minnesota. I've been to Chicago. I haven't been to Detroit yet, but Minnesota is by far
Chicago. That's a shithole.
the worst fans. The worst fans.
I'd rather go to a Lions game than a Bears game. Fuck the Bears and their fans and everything about that place.
The fans in Chicago weren't that bad, to be honest with you.
It's because they have no
Minnesota was
expectations for their
bad, though.
team.
Bryant, you been to all those stadiums? Where you been?
So I've been to many the Metrodome. I've been to U.S. Bank Stadium in Charlotte. I've been to Atlanta 2 or 3 times. 3 times. We went to the NFC Championship game there. I think we went to the game earlier that year there, and then now I've been to. I went to the Ravens game earlier this year. My buddy got us great tickets. So actually, I was right on the corner of that 2-point try. And a funny story about that is everyone started leaving when we were up 14 points. My buddy's a Baltimore fan. I said, these dudes do not know Packers football. They will let them back in this game, and our special teams will do something stupid, and they'll be right back in this game. And sure enough, it happened. And then we were right on that corner of that end zone when that 2-point play happened. And as soon as I seen Huntley roll out that way, I was like, thank God he just cut off half the field. I was like, and I felt instantly better when they did that. And then I went to, I've been to the shitty FedEx Field. And I went to a game in Jacksonville. Me and Simon went to the season opener down in Jacksonville. And thank God there was a Packer fan that he worked at the stadium. He worked at the stadium down there, but it was since they were playing the Packers. He was just watching the game, and me and Simon, before the game even started, we were about to pass out because we were up Upper Bowl. This dude, since he worked there, he was able to go get a box of ice, and we took off our shirts and just put ice in the cheese head and put it on our heads. That was a game like Ramsey was all over about to sack Aaron Rodgers when he threw that touchdown pass to Adams at the end of the half. It was one of the best throws I've ever seen live. So I've been to those. That's where I've been to games, but that's all solely because of the military.
Thank God for Savage completely blowing his assignment 100%, leaving his guy open and tipping that ball on that 2-point conversion. But let's end this show with just a few things real quick. We got Tanyan back. He might not be back for a while, though, but
week 8 would be a good guess.
Having Tanyan back at all is a win, in my opinion.
I think Lewis is going to be back, too.
I will see. If he comes back,
give him his roster bonus.
That fucking fumble, man, that irks me. It's going to live in my mind forever.
Like, well, that's just so Aaron Jones fumbled, too, man. Everyone fumbles.
Okay, but that fumble in that Niners game, that was
it turned the game. It literally stopped our offense.
To be honest with you, the Aaron Jones fumble is probably just as bad.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying in that Niners game, I'm talking about recent, that fumble by Mercedes Lewis, who's not even a starter, that, like Brian said, that completely shell-shocked our offense for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and the Aaron Jones fumble. I mean, you said recent. That's 2 years ago. That was right out of half.
So we were already losing at that point. Like we were trying to make a comeback at that point.
Yeah, but if
you
that
go back and
didn't
watch the game
happen,
against San
if the Aaron
Francisco,
Jones fumble didn't happen, we probably win that game.
there's a lot of shit you could say that probably happened, and you could say that about San Francisco too. But if you go back and watch that game, we go right down the field, we score a touchdown. Our defense completely comes out and just rocks Z Smith first snap of the game.
You cannot blame fucking Mercedes Lewis for putting up 10 points.
The next drive, we're driving right down the field. Mercedes Lewis fumbles, and that's it. That's our offense.
But you can't blame fucking Lewis for putting up 10 points.
I'm not saying that. I'm not just blaming him. I'm saying somehow it completely derailed our offense, and I don't know why that happens with us.
Well, I agree.
Now LaFleur gets some panic mode or something.
Because we were rolling. That was, I mean, we scored, and then
that's what kept us from rolling. Was that moment when that happened? It just destroyed us for some reason.
Because the Lewis fumble was the second possession, right?
No, it was the third possession.
It was second. We were driving right down, and
it was the second. It was the second
possession. You're right. It was the second possession.
But anyways, I mean, we had 10 possessions after that to do something, and we never did.
That's why we're saying that fumble seemed to completely derail us.
It did derail us.
Now,
it did.
Let's sign off on this last topic. Is Marquez Valdez-Scantling might be the most overpaid wide receiver in the league at this point?
Never.
Oh my God,
bro.
Dude.
Never. I mean,
wait. Just stop talking for a second. I'm gonna give you a list of wide receivers that got paid as much or less than MVS and have are around the same age and have proven themselves more. You got Juju Smith-Schuster, who if I was him, I'd be pissed that I signed that contract with him. If you look at it, they're like, oh, he got 10 whatever million. His contract is actually worth like 3 something. It's all based on incentives. Juju has proven so much more than MVS. Then you have DJ Chark, who had a good year. You had Cedric Wilson that proved already that he can be a good quarterback or wide receiver if he's a number 2. You have Russell Gage, who is way more well-rounded. You have Jamison Crowder, who got paid $2 million, has same age as MVS. Yeah, he's a different size and stuff, but I'm just saying, like,
MVS has shown.
It was us and.
Hey, do you know that the Packers didn't score over 30 points without MVS this last season?
Bro, let's be honest.
I saw that the other day. I found it.
MVS is not worth anywhere close to $10 million a year. Not even close.
Dude, I'm an MVS fan. I didn't want us to pay him that money because he is inconsistent, but I think he can be something pretty good.
I think we all think he can be something good, but he's not right now. Here's the problem. You're talking about hypotheticals. We're talking about right now in real time.
Well, I'm just glad.
Absurd.
I'm glad he went to KC though, because he has a good quarterback there.
I want to pay that motherfucker that. I'm glad he went too.
Yeah. I hope MVS has fucking 1,200 yards next year.
Oh man.
I do too. Great, fine. And you're talking about him becoming the number 1 wide receiver. He is the number 1 wide receiver right now in Kansas City. He can run fast, but he's not nearly tight end. But he's not nearly as quick twitch as Tyreek Hill. He's not going to be able to get away from those safeties and cut through safeties like
I hate when people say, "Oh, that's a tight end." A receiver is a receiver. I mean, Kyle Pitts is going to be fucking Falcons' number 1 target too, but he's a tight end. You know, like it's still a receiver when you're at the end of the day.
Okay, but now they're going to be able to bracket Travis Kelce way more easily because you don't have.
Yeah, so
MVS
I mean,
ain't going to burn anyone. MVS doesn't go up against number 1 cornerbacks. Now he's going to.
MVS can run past anyone. I mean, he will burn.
Dude,
he will burn.
There's 100 wide receivers in the NFL that can run a 3-4 or 4-4-40.
I was like a 3-4. Who?
Yeah, me.
Who?
I mean, dude, MVS, he can be something special. He can block.
He's had one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Do you know who MVS reminds me of?
He's never gotten over 38 catches. He reminds me of a fucking family, Robbie Anderson.
MVS reminds me a great deal of James Jett. That's who he reminds me of.
So, hey, Nick, would you still rather have Lazard over MVS?
I would.
Fuck no.
Lazard's a better blocker. He has a great route tree. He can actually really break out, whereas MVS is a one-trick pony.
How many contested catches have you seen?
There's a reason why MVS got paid what he did and Lazard got paid what he did.
There's a reason MVS got paid what he did. There's only 2 teams that wanted to pay this dude. Somehow his agent put out he wanted.
The Packers were going to pay Lazard or MVS more than what they did pay Lazard. I guarantee it, because they knew better.
That's because MVS was up for a contract. Lazard is not.
MVS got paid what he got paid because Hill got traded. That's the only reason why.
Huh?
MVS got paid that much because Hill got traded, and that's the only reason why.
Dude, I don't care. I do not care for Lazard one bit.
Oh my God! If the Chiefs
Lazard had more catches last year than MVS has ever had in his career.
Damn.
Like, MVS isn't worth $10 million a year. I'm sorry, it's just not.
He's not even,
and I'm so happy. If he was worth $10 million a year, he wouldn't have been sitting on the market.
MVS is still a better receiver.
I don't think MVS is better than Lazard. I just really don't.
He is.
I don't.
He might have a huge year in Kansas City because that's all they do.
He will.
But
I guarantee it. Nick, we'll
guarantee it.
We'll message. We'll do a fucking some sort of bet on the MVS stats next year.
He might have 50 catches. They're gonna pay this dude $200,000 a catch
next year. Let's bet some Packer tickets on it.
I'm going to end the show on this note. I'm gonna end the show on this note. MVS most paid wide receiver in the entire NFL at this point.
Christian Kirk is.
Okay. Top 3 most overpaid. Then you're right, man. Christian Kirk, that was bananas.
Yeah.
There is no fucking way. Okay, you guys win.
I proved you wrong. So later, boys.
All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks everybody for watching Frozen Tundra Network. We'll be back next week. Later, guys.